of Sharjeel Imam and Umar Khalid tomorrow. But ahead of this crucial hearing, the Delhi police has filed an affidavit in the top court, strongly opposing the release of the accused booked under the UAPA in the 2020 Delhi Riots Conspiracy case. The cops have argued before the Supreme Court that the alleged offences involved a deliberate attempt to destabilize the state. The police submission comes 2 days after a Supreme Court asked it to consider whether the accused, who've spent nearly 5 years in jail, could be released on bail. Let's quickly take you through the arguments that have been made by the Delhi police in the affidavit in the Supreme Court. The first charge is that violence is part of an organized crime, regime change operation. This is very, very significant. Organized regime change operation. This is very, very important and perhaps one of the most significant observations that have been made by the Delhi police. They've further gone on to say the aim is to destabilize the country using the issue of CAA. That's charge number 2. Charge number 3, not a regular protest, but a premeditated conspiracy is what has been stated by the Delhi police. They've gone on to add that this is a bid to make CAA a global issue as Trump was visiting. Remember, President Trump in his first tenure did visit Delhi at that point of time, and that's also the time when these riots happened. Charge 5, bid to portray CAA as an act of pogrom of Muslims is what Delhi police has said. Charge number 6, CAA issue chosen to serve as radicalizing catalyst is what has been stated. Charge number 7, conspiracy to strike at the heart of the country's sovereignty is what has been stated. Charge number 8, conspiracy for a nationwide stir on the issue of CAA has been said as well. Charge number 9, conspiracy to instigate crowd to an extent of armed rebellion. Charge number 10, deliberately adopted tactics to slow down the trial is what has been stated. Remember that Sharjeel Imam, Umar Khalid and others had approached the Supreme Court after they were denied relief by the Delhi High Court. The High Court had then observed that Sharjeel and Umar's role was prima facie grave, quote-unquote, in this alleged conspiracy. But here's what the petitioners had argued in their defense. Sharjeel Imam's defense is that he's fully disconnected with the case. Umar Khalid's defense is that in WhatsApp groups, no texts were sent by him. Others' defense has been that other co-accused have been granted bail in this particular case as well, except for these individuals. Now, Sharjeel Imam has further added that he has no link to the co-accused persons. Umar Khalid says there's no recovery, money or otherwise that has been done. And others have gone on to say that bail pleas are pending since 2022. Now, Sharjeel Imam has also further gone on to say that speech chats didn't call for unrest. Umar Khalid says no recovery, money or otherwise, and bail pleas, of course, pending since 2022 has been the argument over here as well. Now, let's in fact give you a sense of what the Delhi police's allegations against the accused have sparked off in terms of a political fight. While the opposition has alleged injustice, the BJP asserts that those who seek to destabilize the country should not be shown any mercy.
They are suffering because they belong to a particular community. Those who were involved in communal life, they have been appointed as cabinet ministers. And these 5 persons who belong to a particular community, Muslims, have been rejected, even bail, while for last 5 years, trial has not been started.
When Delhi police has submitted this argument in the court, that shows that Delhi police has substantial evidence. I am pretty sure that the court will take every step to penalize such kind of people, those who don't want India to be on a path of progress.
Let's go right across to Bhavtosh Singh, who's joining us for more on this. Bhavtosh, very, very significant observations that have been made by the court, and in fact, several aspects of this case. Now, the critics of the entire judicial system, of the prosecution, etc., will say that it's taken far too long for this bail hearing to happen, that they should have been out in the normal course of things. But the police would have us believe that the charges against these individuals are very serious, and of course, we've seen what the Delhi High Court has also said in the recent past. Bhavtosh.
Yes, Madhav, in fact, in the affidavit, 390-page affidavit that has been filed by the Delhi police, they have said there was an attempt in which they wanted to through the regime, and also importantly they have also dwelled into a very important aspect as far as the delay in trial is concerned. One point they have raised is that on the account of just asking for the documents, 2 years were wasted. On the second part of delay on the trial of framing of charges, they have said again the delay is on the part of the accused as far as this case is concerned. The prosecution in this case, that is Delhi police, have said the delay is by the accused. Importantly, a very important point that has been raised by the Delhi police, or in fact mentioned by the Delhi police, is yes, there are 900 witnesses in this case of the larger conspiracy. But once the trial starts in this case, they are willing to drop as many as 800 witnesses because already oral statements have been taken and most of these statements are virtually same. So what they have told the Supreme Court in the affidavit is that once the trial starts, they are willing to drop as many as 800 witnesses, and in the final trial that will start, there would only be 105 witnesses.
Well, very interesting submission there. Bhavtosh, thanks so much for getting us that update. Let's quickly take it across to our guest now. Joining us, RP Singh is national spokesperson of the BJP. Subrashta is author and founder of The Churn. We have Kapil Madan, advocate and political analyst, joining us. Advocate Anmol Pawar is spokesperson of the Aam Aadmi Party. Let me start with you first. Kapil Madan, you have the Delhi police submitting that they're willing to drop hundreds of these witnesses. Statements have been taken, so on and so forth. And we've seen what the Delhi High Court has said. They have said that the charges against these individuals, including Mr. Umar Khalid as well as Sharjeel Imam, are quote-unquote prima facie grave. Couple.
So, Madhav, let me say this with a sense of responsibility. I've read the affidavit, and I must say in my opening remark that this affidavit is not even worth the paper on which it is written. And let me give you an example why I say this kind of a statement. Now, the affidavit says it was a protest which was aimed at regime change, etc. So once you have that kind of an argument which you are raising at this belated stage, the natural sequitur to this is that there would be some foreign forces who is funding it. Have you in the conspiracy named any foreign conspirator? I am purely arguing from the legal standpoint. If that is the case, that there was, or it was actually aimed at regime change and there were foreign powers etc. involved, who was the conspirator from the foreign soil? You please name one. The answer is none. The charge sheet does not, talk about any such kind of a thing. It is very easy to say anything under the bus. You file anything under the, under the sun in the affidavit, but you will have to see what your charge sheet says. Okay. You can't be changing stance.
Let's go.
Can't be changing
okay,
stance
let me push that. Let me put that point across to Mr. RP Singh. That's a fair point. Mr. RP Singh, or I think Mr. RP Singh's audio is not through. Let me get Subrashta in on that. Subrashta, saying that it is a regime change operation, saying that it is part of, a global conspiracy is very fine, but where's the evidence of any planning or plotting from across India's borders? Your response to Kapil Madan.
Look, Kapil, in most of these cases, when it comes to Delhi riots, we've seen that there has been an attempt to internationalize the entire situation. We saw people who are completely disconnected from India, who have never visited India on any political, platform, tweeting about situations as if they know what was really going on. So please do not tell me that there is no international angle to it. Now, when it comes to proving things in the court, you are a lawyer perhaps, and Anmol is a lawyer, so you guys are going to, talk about things from a legal perspective. I am here to give you a citizen's perspective. As a citizen of this country, what unfolded on the streets of Delhi during those months, when a legislation that was brought in that had nothing to do with Indian Muslims had this entire fear-mongering operation going on inside their houses. In fact, people had camped outside specific bastis in Delhi to tell them that you are being disenfranchised. This was a conspiracy and an anti-national conspiracy. Let me go ahead and say that. If you have a problem with it, please fight it out in the court of law. I mean, politically, Aam Aadmi Party did try to fight it. They lost the elections. They will continue to lose elections. And let me also tell you that it is a situation, this is a situation today where we actually have to, common citizens in India have to actually come out and explain to the opposition in this country that there is something called basic common sense. If you have a country which is India, legislating a bill totally constitutionally to talk about citizenship rights of certain individuals,
okay,
I don't know what was the need to take the entire city hostage for that particular situation.
Okay.
And of course, we saw the aftermath of it. Delhi riots is just one part of the entire, chapter. One chapter out of that entire book. Let the whole book be read.
Advocate Anmol Pawar. Let Anmol Pawar come in on this. Advocate Anmol Pawar, a lot of disinformation was spread. Various WhatsApp groups were there. The texts are there. All of that information is out there in the public domain as well. And the police says that this clearly shows the huge volume of witnesses also. They're willing to, of course, whittle down that list. But the point that they are making and the point that Subrashta is making is that at the end of the day, this was a political conspiracy to the extent that a lot of disinformation was spread about the law, the provisions of the law, and people were, given that kind of wrong information with a deliberate intent. Your response, Advocate Anmol Pawar.
Good evening, Madhavji. Madhavji, without delving into the merits of the case, I would just say that 5 years after the Delhi riots engulfed the national capital, shoddy investigation, flawed investigation, weak charge sheets that has led to acquittal of 175 accused and 75 discharges. It speaks volume about the way Delhi police investigates a matter. And this matter will, Supreme Court will hear this matter tomorrow, and because the matter is sub judice, so it would not be appropriate for me to comment on the merits of the case at this point of time. But one thing is very clear, that anyone who speaks against the government, they are sent behind bars. We saw that how Aam Aadmi Party leaders were put behind bars for more than a year, and despite having no evidence, not a single penny was recovered. There was no witness,
Pawar,
and even till
I'm
date,
just trying to understand. Are you arguing that are you arguing for the fact that people are behind bars or against bars? Because you just said that people are being let off. At the same time, you're saying that they are political opponents who are being jailed unnecessarily. So which argument is it that you are really exercising here?
No, what I'm saying is that the opposition leaders who raise voice against the central government, against the BJP government, they are being put behind bars.
But they are not opposition leaders.
Not just the opposition, but even the Honorable Supreme Court, which has time, they are not opposition leaders. I'm telling about the leaders of Aam Aadmi Party or other political parties. Even the Supreme Court has been very categorical about the fact that the ED, CBI and the Delhi police, they are serving their political masters. They are acting as caged parrots.
Okay. RP Singh, agencies including Delhi police and other central government agencies are acting as caged parrots. We've seen the crackdown on political opponents of the BJP, and that seems to be the same case that is being played out in the 2020 riots case over here. Your response to the Aam Aadmi Party, RP Singh.
Well, Madhav, first ask him whether they are in favor of CA or against CA. Because they have created, as earlier one of the your panelists said, that a false narrative was being created. If I rightly remember, Subhansha was there. I can't see the TV. So false narrative was being built up against CA. Basically trying to create a ruckus and try to create a arrest, try to create unlawfulness in country. And then I remember Sonia Gandhi from Ramlila ground said, "Aar paar ki ladai hai ye. Let's fight to finish." On CA, Priyanka Vadra said that, hundreds of you will be sent behind bar. Mr. Sisodia was there at Shaheen Bagh. Amatullah Khan ki aapko topi nahi pehni di jayegi. And what did Manishankar Iyer did? He went to Pakistan and said, "Help us in Shaheen Bagh." Shaheen Bagh he finds a lot of hope in Shaheen Bagh. So they were finding hope in Shaheen Bagh and trying to plead Pakistan to indulge into it, intervene into it. Mr. Manishankar Iyer. So this all shows that there was a bigger conspiracy. It was not organic. It was all pre-planned, premeditated. And then how can we forget that chicken neck ka rasta kaat do and then Northeast will be separated from the India? What was that plan? And then how can we forget Mr. Umar Khalid saying that Donald Trump aa raha hai, message dene ka time hai, is the time to send a message since Donald Trump is visiting?
Okay, 3 points that have been made. Actually, this answers what Kapil was asking earlier. Kapil, would you like to respond to that? Chicken's neck, cutting off Northeast, whether they were talking about invoking protests at the time of Trump, or even those who have spoken out invoking Pakistan. He's, of course, quoting Manishankar Iyer. All these three things show that there was definitely an international angle to this, global implications to this protest. Kapil.
So Madhav, again, I will go back to my first question. Why would you not mention which was the international organization who was funding it or who was orchestrating it? I mean, the charge sheet does not name, any such
international implications.
At least to my knowledge,
it is a fact, Kapil, that President Trump was in Delhi.
Madhav, police, we've seen, when police makes charge sheet, they, in the figment of their own imagination, they make all side of allegations. All those allegations are allegations which needs to be proved during the course of the trial.
Kapil Madan, do you support somebody who says that chicken neck should be, cut off, that Northeast should be cut off from mainstream India? Would you support such a statement?
Madhav, allow me to.
No, I'm asking you, sir. You're saying that there's nothing international in terms of implications. I'm just asking you a counter question to that.
Madhav, let me clarify once again. All I am saying is, if the Delhi police believes in this affidavit that there was an international angle to it, there were foreign forces that was working for a regime change, then my only question is whether you have named those foreign forces, yes or no. Whether you have named in the charge sheet, I don't know. To best of my knowledge, they have not. Whether you have named them in the affidavit, to the best of my knowledge, they have not. I am asking you, if that being the case, can you please verify RP Singh ji is here, is here.
Okay, I will seek their clarification. You give me clarity whether you agree with the chicken neck statement or not.
All I can say here is, Madhav, the allegations are grave. I agree with you. That's the reason.
This is not just allegations. These are all. These are open statements. The person's video is there from university at a particular protest where he's invoking that chicken's neck and saying why it should not be cut off. But we have very limited time. I'm sorry, there's some breaking news coming in. I'm sorry, it couldn't come across to other panelists. This is big news coming in from Bihar's Mokama. A supporter of Jan Suraj party has been shot in Ghoswari and has been declared dead. Big